A single vision in the sky would change the fate of an empire. On the eve of a desperate battle, a Roman general looked upward and saw a sign that would reshape the world forever. This wasn't just a military showdown, it was a battle for Rome's soul. The moment Christianity began its rise from a persecuted faith to the dominant power of the Western world. Join us as we uncover how a mystical vision and a brutal war gave birth to Christian Europe. By the early 4th century, the Roman Empire was in chaos. Diocletian's brilliant system of 4 co-emperors, the Tetrarchy, had shattered, plunging the empire into a vortex of civil wars. From this turmoil, 2 titans emerged, each claiming control of the West, Constantine and Maxentius. Constantine, the son of a respected emperor, was proclaimed ruler by his loyal troops in distant Britain. He was ambitious, disciplined, and seen as a force for reform. In the heart of the empire, however, sat Maxentius. Controlling the fabulously wealthy and symbolic territories of Italy and Africa, he represented the old guard, the established pagan traditions and privileges of Rome. The stage was set for a monumental clash, not just between 2 men, but between 2 futures for the Roman Empire. By 312 CE, diplomacy had failed. Accusations of tyranny flew back and forth, and war became inevitable. In a daring gamble, Constantine marched his army of around 40,000 men south, deep into enemy territory. With incredible speed, his legions conquered major cities like Turin and Verona. He was a brilliant general, but his greatest weapon was public opinion. The people of Italy, tired of Maxentius's corruption and heavy taxes, welcomed Constantine's disciplined soldiers as liberators, not invaders. Maxentius, secure behind the massive Aurelian walls of Rome, had every advantage. He had more troops, control of the food supply, and an almost impenetrable fortress. His advisors begged him to wait out a long siege, a strategy that had defeated invaders for centuries. But Maxentius was desperate to prove his legitimacy and divine favor. He made a fatal miscalculation. He decided to leave the safety of the city and meet Constantine in open battle. He would stake everything on a single, decisive fight just outside the gates of Rome. This is where history turns into legend. On the night before the battle, October 27th, as the sun began to set, Constantine and his soldiers looked to the sky. According to the historian Eusebius, they witnessed an unbelievable sight. A cross of light superimposed over the sun, accompanied by the Greek words entoutonika, which translates to the Latin in hoc signo vinces. In this sign, you will conquer. As if the celestial vision wasn't enough, that night Constantine had a dream. Christ appeared to him, instructing him to create a new military standard bearing the Chi-Rho, the first 2 letters of Christ's name in Greek. For Constantine's army, a mix of pagans and a small number of Christians, this was an electrifying moment. It was a divine promise of victory from a powerful new god. Historians still debate what really happened. Was it a rare solar phenomenon, like a sundog, a calculated piece of psychological warfare, or a genuine, world-altering religious experience? Whatever its origin, the effect was profound. Constantine ordered his soldiers to paint the Chi-Rho symbol on their shields. For the first time in history, the cross was not a symbol of shame, but a weapon of war carried into battle by a Roman army. The morning of October 28, 312 CE arrived. The 2 armies faced each other at the Milvian Bridge, a critical crossing over the Tiber River just north of Rome. Maxentius had made another tactical error. To hinder Constantine's approach, he had partially demolished the stone bridge, but to allow his own army to cross and engage, he built a temporary, less stable pontoon bridge alongside it. He had essentially trapped his own army with the river at their back. Constantine didn't hesitate. He unleashed his superior cavalry, smashing into Maxentius's flanks. His disciplined infantry pressed forward relentlessly, a wall of shields marked with the new holy symbol. the battle quickly turned into a rout. Maxentius's troops, panicked and disorganized, tried to flee back across the river, but the flimsy pontoon bridge, now crowded with thousands of retreating men in heavy armor, buckled under the weight and collapsed. Chaos ensued. Men were crushed, trampled, and swept away by the current. Among them was Maxentius himself. Weighed down by his own magnificent armor, he fell into the Tiber and drowned. His body was dragged from the muddy riverbed the next day, a grim trophy confirming Constantine's absolute victory. Constantine entered Rome not as a foreign conqueror, but as the city's liberator. The Senate and the people hailed him as the restorer of peace and order. One of his first acts was to end the brutal, systematic persecution of Christians that had plagued the empire. Soon after, in 313 CE, he and his co-emperor Licinius issued the Edict of Milan. This landmark decree didn't make Christianity the state religion, not yet, but it granted full religious tolerance throughout the empire, legalizing the faith and restoring all confiscated church property. The shift in power was immediate and dramatic. Pagan temples began to lose their state funding and influence, while Christian churches, now backed by imperial favor, grew in wealth and status. Constantine's image was remade. New coins and monuments portrayed him as a ruler chosen by the Christian God, blending traditional Roman authority with a new divine destiny. The magnificent Arch of Constantine, built to commemorate his victory, stands today as a symbol of this transition. While it celebrates his triumph in the traditional Roman style, it also subtly hints at the divine intervention that made it possible, marking the beginning of Rome's slow, complex conversion. The Battle of the Milvian Bridge was more than just a victory. It was the start of a revolution. It set Christianity on the path from a persecuted minority sect to the official religion of the Roman Empire. Constantine's own conversion, though a gradual process, forever changed what it meant to be Roman. The emperor was no longer just the high priest of the pagan gods. He was now a servant of a higher, single divine power. This fusion of political victory and spiritual mission laid the groundwork for the Byzantine Empire in the east and the Christian kingdoms of medieval Europe in the west. The concept of a king ruling by divine right, a cornerstone of Western political thought for over 1,000 years, has its roots on that battlefield. So, in one fateful night, a Roman general's vision of a symbol in the sky changed the soul of his empire. In fighting for earthly power, Constantine believed he had found divine purpose, forever merging the sword and the cross. The Roman eagle, for centuries an emblem of pagan might, would now fly under a new, sacred sign. The echo of the Battle of the Milvian Bridge reminds us that sometimes a single moment of belief, a single vision against a setting sun, can alter the destiny of civilizations forever. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the past fascinating, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories that shaped our world. We'll see you next time.